It's like haters. When you get haters, you know, people's opinion of you is none of your business. I have lots of haters. So he said, man, that's tax evasion. You can go to prison.
In the world of celebrity gossip, the scandals just keep getting wilder, and today we're diving into one of the biggest bombshells to hit Hollywood recently. Sean Diddy Combs, the music mogul who's built $1 billion empire, is now facing allegations that could shake the entertainment industry to its core. It's not just about financial misdeeds or a few bad business deals. We're talking about secret parties, hidden cameras, and disturbing behavior that's been swept under the rug for years. But the real kicker, Diddy wasn't alone in this. Big names, including the ever-popular Steve Harvey, are getting dragged into the mix, and the fallout is just beginning.
Now, to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
So, what exactly went down at these infamous Diddy parties, and how did a man known for his smooth-talking charm and chart-topping hits end up at the center of such a sordid tale? Well, buckle up, because we're about to uncover some shocking details that paint a very different picture of Diddy and his inner circle. Let's start with the parties themselves. These weren't your run-of-the-mill celebrity soirees with red carpets and the usual glamorous crowd. Oh no, these were invite-only closed-door events where what happened inside stayed inside until now. The tapes that have recently surfaced, reportedly filmed at Diddy's private gatherings, show a side of Hollywood that most people could never imagine in their wildest dreams. According to insiders, these parties were wild to say the least, and not in the fun, carefree way you might expect. Rumors are swirling that the things going on behind those doors were enough to make even the most hardened partygoers uncomfortable.
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
People who attended these events describe an atmosphere that was more like an underground world of excess and control. It wasn't just about the music or the fun. These parties allegedly had an undercurrent of manipulation, with Diddy holding all the cards. It's said that he used his power and influence to get people to do things they wouldn't normally do, and some of the most disturbing claims suggest that guests were being recorded without their knowledge. Yes, you heard that right. Hidden cameras were reportedly placed all around his properties, capturing everything that went down during these wild nights.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping.
And here's where it gets even darker. According to multiple sources, Diddy wasn't just recording for fun. These tapes allegedly contain footage of celebrities, athletes, and even high-level executives engaging in activities they probably wouldn't want the world to see. And now, with the tapes leaking, a lot of people are feeling the heat. One of the most jaw-dropping revelations is that Steve Harvey's name has come up in connection to these parties, and not in the way you might expect.
A U.S. judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.
Steve Harvey, the comedian turned television king, who's known for his family-friendly image and relationship advice, has been a close friend of Diddy's for years. But now, some are questioning just how much Harvey knew about what was really going on at these secretive gatherings. Was he just an innocent bystander, or did he turn a blind eye to the questionable behavior happening around him? Some insiders claim that Harvey might have attended a few of these events himself, and if that's true, it could spell disaster for his squeaky clean reputation.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily, so I guess right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
The leaked tapes reportedly feature footage from Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami, where these notorious parties took place. According to a lawsuit filed by one of Diddy's former associates who's been blowing the whistle on the whole operation, these tapes were part of a larger scheme to control and manipulate people within the industry. The lawsuit claims that Diddy used the footage as leverage, threatening to release it if anyone crossed him or tried to leave his inner circle. This kind of blackmail isn't just shady if the allegations are true, it's downright criminal.
It's a question of that, but when you read through the indictment, it's pretty clear who could be indicted as a co-conspirator. Right now, there are people in the indictment who would be considered unnamed co-conspirators, but clearly have played a role in this conspiracy. And I think prosecutors have some big leverage on them because they're hoping that they testify against Diddy as prosecution witnesses.
Imagine the pressure of knowing that every move you made in one of Diddy's homes was being recorded and potentially used against you. It's no wonder so many celebrities are scrambling to distance themselves from him now that these tapes are out in the open. The fear of what might be on those recordings is palpable, and it's not just about personal embarrassment. For some, it could mean the end of their careers, legal battles, or even jail time.
I think it's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come, within the next 2 years?
Now, you might be wondering, how does Steve Harvey fit into all of this? Well, Harvey's connection to Diddy has always been a point of interest. The two have been spotted together countless times over the years, and Harvey's stepdaughter, Lori Harvey, was even rumored to be romantically involved with Diddy at one point. This has led to all kinds of speculation about the nature of their relationship and what Steve Harvey might have known about Diddy's behind-the-scenes behavior.
Let's first say that you shouldn't feel guilty for anything.
It's important to note that Steve Harvey has built his brand around being a voice of reason, especially when it comes to relationships and personal conduct. He's authored books, hosted talk shows, and given advice to millions of viewers on how to live with integrity. So if it turns out that Harvey was aware of, or worse, involved in some of the shady activities happening at Diddy's parties, it could be a massive blow to his credibility. Fans are already starting to ask questions, and if these tapes reveal anything that links him to Diddy's alleged misdeeds, it could be game over for Harvey's career.
So I just keep going through. But then I'll tell you something too, haters motivate me. Because when they talking about me, that means I'm doing something.
Of course, Harvey himself hasn't made any public statements about the allegations, and it's possible that he was completely in the dark about what was really going on. But as more details come to light, the pressure is mounting for him to address the situation. People want to know if their favorite T-Vost was complicit in covering up a scandal of this magnitude, or if he was simply caught in the crossfire of Diddy's downfall. And it's not just Steve Harvey who's feeling the heat. Other big names have been dragged into this mess as well. One of the most shocking claims to come out of the leaked tapes is that Diddy had hidden cameras set up in every room of his homes, capturing footage of high-profile guests in compromising situations. According to the lawsuit, this footage includes some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry, people who thought they were attending a private party, only to find out later that they were being filmed without their consent.
I mean, that fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the
fallout from these revelations is already shaking Hollywood to its core. Major brands that once lined up to work with Diddy are now distancing themselves from him, cutting ties left and right as they try to avoid being associated with the scandal. Meanwhile, celebrities who were once part of Diddy's inner circle are scrambling to protect their own reputations. Some have even gone so far as to issue public statements denying any involvement with Diddy's parties, while others are staying eerily silent, perhaps hoping that the storm will blow over before their names are dragged into the headlines.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the shoe have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
But based on what we've seen so far, this scandal isn't going away anytime soon. The tapes are just the tip of the iceberg, and as investigators dig deeper into Diddy's past, more shocking details are bound to come out. Already there's talk of a federal investigation into Diddy's business dealings, with some speculating that his empire could come crashing down if the allegations of misconduct are proven true.
realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
So what does all of this mean for Hollywood as a whole? Well, it's clear that the entertainment industry is in for a major reckoning. For years, powerful figures like Diddy have been able to operate with impunity using their influence to shield themselves from accountability. But now, with these tapes out in the open, it feels like the tide is finally turning. People are starting to speak out, and the days of sweeping these kinds of scandals under the rug might be coming to an end. The question now is, how many more secrets are out there waiting to be uncovered? If Diddy was recording his guests without their knowledge, who else in Hollywood might be doing the same thing? It's a chilling thought, especially when you consider how many powerful people have the means and the motivation to keep their darkest secrets hidden. As more people start to come forward with their own stories, we could be looking at the beginning of a much larger movement, one that holds even the biggest names in the industry accountable for their actions.
This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly.
For now, all eyes are on Diddy, Steve Harvey, and the other celebrities caught up in this scandal. The next few weeks will be crucial in determining how this story plays out. Will Diddy's empire crumble under the weight of these allegations, or will he manage to escape with his reputation intact? And what about Steve Harvey? Will he be able to maintain his image as America's favorite TV host, or will this scandal prove to be too much for him to handle?
Not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
No one wants to be mentioned.
As the investigation continues, one thing is clear: this story is far from over. The tapes have opened a Pandora's box of secrets, and it's only a matter of time before more names come to light. For those involved, the days of partying and living large without consequences might finally be coming to an end. But for the rest of us, it's a sobering reminder that even the most glamorous lives can hide some truly dark truths.
Some people do think that Diddy can help him, but this guy's going to be locked up forever. His case will probably take at least 3 years to litigate. He'll stay at MDC. There's rumors that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. He's a Marshals inmate. There's no way they're going to transfer him back and forth, I don't know, several times a week.
With all of this swirling around, it's no wonder that Hollywood is in a state of panic. Celebrities who were once untouchable are now facing the very real possibility of public humiliation, legal battles, and even jail time. And for Diddy, the man who once ruled the music world, the fall from grace could be swift and devastating. But even as the walls close in on Diddy and his inner circle, the question remains, how deep does this scandal really go? Are we just scratching the surface of a much larger conspiracy, or is this the beginning of the end for one of Hollywood's most powerful figures? So with Diddy's parties exposed and Hollywood in sheer panic mode, you might think the worst is over, right? Well, not quite. The truth is, this scandal is just the tip of the iceberg. We're about to dive even deeper into a web of controversy that stretches back decades, and it doesn't just stop with Diddy. No, the ripples of this mess are reaching some pretty unexpected places, including Steve Harvey himself. And if you thought the tapes and hidden cameras were bad, wait until you hear what's been brewing behind the scenes of Diddy and Harvey's friendship for years.
So I don't give them no energy. I give haters no energy. Steve ain't this, he think he this. You don't even know me.
See, it's easy to look at Steve Harvey's public persona and think, here's a guy who's got it all together. He's the king of daytime TV, with his motivational speeches, best-selling books, and family-first image. But what if we told you that things aren't always as they seem? Because let's be honest, Harvey's involvement with Diddy raises some serious eyebrows. How does a man who built his image around integrity, faith, and clean living end up so deeply intertwined with someone like Diddy, whose world is now unraveling with allegations of secret tapes, manipulation, and exploitation?
Stand-up comedian, entertainer, television host, family man. But most importantly, I happen to be a man of faith.
It's no secret that Harvey and Diddy have been close for years. In fact, their friendship is so well known that it's almost become a part of Harvey's brand. Over the years, they've been spotted together at events, shared stages, and even vacationed together. And let's not forget that Steve's stepdaughter, Lori Harvey, was famously linked to Diddy back in 2019. This relationship raised plenty of questions back then, especially considering the 27-year age gap between the two. But now, in light of everything that's coming out about Diddy, people are starting to wonder just how much Harvey really knew about what was going on behind closed doors. Let's rewind to the summer of 2019, when Lori, Harvey, and Diddy were spotted all over the globe together. They were seen vacationing in Italy with Harvey's family, dining out with Steve and Marjorie like one big happy group. At the time, it seemed innocent enough, just a fun fling between Lori and Diddy, with Steve and Marjorie playing the role of supportive parents. But now, with everything we know about Diddy's parties and the secretive nature of his personal life, people can't help but ask, was this really just a family vacation? Or was something darker happening behind the scenes? Some insiders are now claiming that Steve Harvey might have been more involved in Diddy's questionable activities than anyone realized. Rumors are swirling that Harvey not only knew about the tapes and the hidden cameras, but may have even attended some of those infamous parties himself. And while there's no hard proof yet to back up these claims, the fact that Harvey has remained eerily silent on the matter is raising suspicions. If Harvey had nothing to hide, why hasn't he come out and publicly distanced himself from Diddy? Why hasn't he made a statement denouncing the behavior that's now being linked to his longtime friend?
At the end of the day, just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
One theory that's gaining traction is that Harvey has been protecting Diddy for years, turning a blind eye to his friend's darker side in exchange for maintaining his own powerful connections in the entertainment industry. After all, Diddy's influence stretches far and wide, and being in his inner circle comes with plenty of perks. But now that the walls are starting to close in on Diddy, Harvey might find himself caught in the crossfire. And if the tapes that have been leaked so far are any indication, things could get very ugly very fast. But it's not just the tapes that Harvey has to worry about. There's also the matter of his complicated family dynamics, particularly when it comes to Lori. As we mentioned earlier, Lori's relationship with Diddy raised plenty of eyebrows when it first came to light, and now it's under even more scrutiny. Some reports suggest that Steve was never fully on board with the relationship but felt pressured to support it because of his ties to Diddy. Others claim that Steve actually encouraged the relationship as a way to solidify his own status within Diddy's circle of power.
Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff.
Whatever the truth is, there's no denying that Lori's involvement with Diddy has only added fuel to the fire. And it's not just about her romantic relationship with him. There are also whispers that Lori was present at some of Diddy's parties, and that she may have been aware of the hidden cameras and secret recordings. Again, there's no concrete evidence to back up these claims, but the fact that Lori has been keeping a low profile in recent months isn't exactly helping her case. Could she be hiding something, or is she simply trying to stay out of the spotlight while the scandal unfolds? Now, let's talk about Steve's wife, Marjorie Harvey. She's been by Steve's side through thick and thin, and together, they've crafted an image of a strong, united family. But Marjorie's past isn't exactly squeaky clean either. Long before she married Steve, Marjorie was linked to not one but two men who were involved in illegal activities. Her first husband, Jim Townsend, was sentenced to life in prison in the 90s for his involvement in a large-scale operation. Townsend later claimed that Marjorie was very much aware of his activities, though she was never charged with any crime herself.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So I love my man, but what you mean, but?
After her marriage to Townsend ended, Marjorie went on to marry Donald Woods, another man with a questionable background. Woods, like Townsend, was involved in illegal operations, and though the details of his legal troubles have been kept under wraps, it's clear that Marjorie's past is far from the perfect image she presents today. Steve has always stood by Marjorie's side, brushing off any rumors about her past as irrelevant or exaggerated. But in light of the current scandal surrounding Diddy, some are starting to wonder if there's more to the story. Could it be that Steve and Marjorie have always been more connected to the darker side of Hollywood than they've let on? And if so, how much longer can they keep up the facade of being the perfect power couple? With Diddy's empire crumbling and more details about his parties and recordings coming to light, it's only a matter of time before the truth catches up to everyone involved. And let's not forget about the other big names that have been linked to this scandal. As more tapes leak and more people start coming forward with their own stories, we're seeing a pattern emerge, a pattern of power, control, and manipulation that extends far beyond Diddy's personal circle. Celebrities, executives, and even politicians are starting to distance themselves from him, but for some, it might be too late. The damage has already been done, and the public is demanding answers.
Understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on watch.
One of the most shocking aspects of this whole situation is how long it's been going on without anyone speaking up. How is it possible that Diddy was able to hold these parties, record his guests without their knowledge, and manipulate people for years without anyone blowing the whistle? The answer, according to some insiders, lies in the culture of silence that surrounds Hollywood's elite. When you're part of the upper echelons of the entertainment industry, you learn very quickly that speaking out against powerful people can have serious consequences. Careers can be ruined, opportunities can disappear, and reputations can be destroyed in the blink of an eye. But now, with the leaks and lawsuits piling up, it seems that the culture of silence is starting to crack. People are no longer willing to protect the likes of Diddy, especially when the stakes are so high. And as more victims come forward and more tapes are leaked, it's becoming clear that this is just the beginning of a much larger reckoning for Hollywood as a whole. The question now is, how deep does this go? How many other powerful figures are involved in similar activities, using their influence to manipulate and control those around them? And how many more secrets are waiting to be uncovered? As we've seen with past scandals, once the floodgates open, it's nearly impossible to close them. The public is hungry for the truth, and they won't stop until every last dirty secret is exposed.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
For Steve Harvey, the fallout from this scandal could be devastating. If it turns out that he was involved in or even just aware of Diddy's misdeeds, his carefully crafted image could come crashing down overnight. And for someone who's spent years building a brand around family values, integrity, and self-respect, that kind of public humiliation could be career-ending. Harvey has weathered plenty of storms in the past, but this might be the one that finally sinks him. Of course, there's always the possibility that Harvey will come out of this unscathed. Maybe he really was in the dark about what was happening at Diddy's parties. Maybe his connection to Diddy was purely professional, and he had no idea about the darker side of his friend's life. But with so many questions still unanswered and so many rumors swirling, it's hard to imagine that Harvey will be able to avoid the fallout completely. As for Diddy, it's clear that his days of living large and enjoying the protection of his powerful friends are numbered. The tapes have already done irreparable damage to his reputation, and with lawsuits stacking up, it's only a matter of time before he faces serious legal consequences. But even if Diddy ends up behind bars, the real story here isn't just about one man's downfall. It's about the entire system that allowed someone like Diddy to thrive for so long without being held accountable.
I thought Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do documentaries.
The entertainment industry has always had a dark side, but what we're seeing now is a full-blown reckoning. The public is no longer content to sit back and watch as powerful figures abuse their positions without consequence. They want accountability, they want justice, and they want the truth. And as more tapes leak and more people start speaking out, it's becoming clear that the truth is far darker than anyone could have imagined. So where do we go from here? Will Diddy's empire crumble completely? Will Steve Harvey's carefully curated image survive the scandal? And how many more powerful figures will be exposed as the tapes continue to leak? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the latest updates on this ever-evolving story.